guys, how's it going? It's Master Enigma aka Corey here, and since I've been posting a couple magic videos lately, I thought I would give you a very brief, not too detailed, but helpful, like tutorial almost of magic. So, this is for the absolute noobs. If you know about magic already, you don't need to watch this. Maybe I'll crack a little joke in the middle and you guys will laugh though, so maybe you should stick around. I'm just kidding. Um, Alright, so the basics of magic. I'm just going to go to a card and I'll tell you what everything means, okay? So here we go. This is Ajani's Primate. See at the top, that's the name of the card. In the top right corner, that's the mana cost, which means that's how much land you have to have on the field in order to play it. If you recall correctly, the lands are like those cards that just have the big island on them, or the big mountain, or the big plains, and you need to lay them down in order to lay down these creatures. So you see this guy costs one plain and one colorless. One plains, I should say, and one colorless. So that means that you have to have at least one plains out, and then any other color you can tap for the other one. As you can see, like as you get up higher, like this one costs one white, one red, and four colorless. That's a total of 6 lands you need out. So like obviously the bigger creatures cost more lands, and you can get them out later in the game, and such like that. Okay, so where was I? Let's go back to this guy. He's a creature. See, like right under his picture, it says creature, cat, soldier. You just play creatures, and they stay on the battlefield, and you can attack with them, block with them. I'm sure you've seen that already in the 2 games I posted. Like creatures are the ones that I played, like Vampire, Nighthawk, cards like that. Then in the very bottom right corner, that's the creature's power and toughness. The first one is the power, the second one's toughness. Basically, that's like attack and defense. So, say this 2/2 were to attack in against an opponent. He could block with like a 1/1 or 1 power, 1 toughness creature, but that creature would die because this guy deals 2 and the other guy only deals 1 to him. So that's kind of simple. But like, say a 2/2 blocks a 2/2, they would both die. Um, I think that's pretty standard. I'm pretty sure you guys can understand that concept. Um, so that's okay. Yeah, and then also when you attack with a creature, they turn sideways, and when they turn sideways, that's called tapping. I think I might have mentioned that in my first video, but I'm going to bring it up again now since I have you in this tutorial. So yeah, when you attack with them, they tap and turn sideways. Unless they have vigilance. Basically, like what makes this so interesting is that like different creatures all have different abilities. Like this guy, whenever you gain life, you may put a counter, a +1/+1 counter on him. That just means that he becomes a 3/3, and then he becomes a 4/4, etc. So if you have a card like this out, whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. You can play him, have this guy out, play another creature, and he becomes a 3/3. Play another creature, he becomes a 4/4. So like all the abilities kind of like stack on top of each other, and it just makes for a really interesting game. Um, that's a little too complicated. These are a little too complicated. Okay, here's an artifact. An artifact is something that you just play, and it just stays on the battlefield on the side. Like you can't attack or block with it or anything like that. It's just like something that stays on the field, and you can activate its ability at any time. So for this one, you have this artifact out. It costs 2, and it stays out until it's destroyed or removed in some way. You can tap 2 creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. So this is actually a really good card. So like say you attack with a 2/2, and he just blocks with his 2/2. He's like, oh yeah, I'll trade. You can be like, nope, I'll actually tap 2 and make my guy a 3/3, and he'll kill your 2/2. Or you can get like super tricky and just attack with everyone, and then just pump it up a million times, and it does a million damage. Like this is just a really good card. Okay, the next kind of card is an instant. See under the picture how it says instant? That means that, like as its name implies, that you can play this card at any time. So, like say, like that it's their turn and they play this creature that's like a 3/3, like amazing flying, whatever, death touch, whatever. Before they end their turn, if you have 2 mana open, see the red and the white in the top right corner, like you can cast this on their turn, kill their guy, deal 3 damage to it, and we gain 3 life. So instants can be played at any time, like either like during combat, after combat, during your main phase, their combat step, anything, like at any time, which is what makes instants so interesting. Like this one's really cool. Like if you have no creatures out and they attack you with like a 2/2, you can be like, wait, I'm actually gonna play this, and then you put out 2/1/1s. You can double block his 2/2, and you would trade with it. I forgot to mention that, but you can block any number of creatures. Okay, you can block a creature with any number of your creatures. So like say they have a 7/7 and you have like 10 2/2s and he attacks for some reason. You can block with 4 of them and it would kill it. So that's how that works. I think I'm going to jump into the tutorial also just to show you exactly what's going on. But anyway, an enchantment, that's another thing. There are different kinds of enchantments. This one is an aura, and an aura means that you attach it to a creature. So um, this one is, see how it says enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may gain 1 life. I don't really want to get too far into the upkeep, but the upkeep is just the beginning of your turn. So that just means like at the beginning of your turn, you may gain 1 life. So that's a good card. And there are other kinds of enchantments. Okay, I'll come back to that. No, I won't. Here's another kind of enchantment. They're really similar to artifacts. Like they just stay on the battlefield on the side until they're removed or destroyed in some way. So as long as it's your turn, creatures you control get +2/+0. As long as it's not your turn, creatures you control get +0/+2. So that's a really good card because on your turn you get 2 extra attack power for all your creatures, and then when it's your turn to defend on their turn, you get 2 extra toughness boost. So this card is a really good card, and this is another really good enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Yeah, and like there are also more like complicated mechanics. Like it's not really too complicated, but for a new person it might be. Like multi-kicker. See how it costs 2 planes and 2 at the top, so that means it costs 4 to play. And then you have to cast that, and then in addition to that, you can also pay the multi-kicker cost, which is 1 white and 1 colorless. And then if you pay the kicker cost, then the condition underneath is met. So return up to X target creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of times Marshall's Anthem was kicked. So obviously, if you kick it 0, you don't get anything. But if you kick it once, you can get a creature out of your graveyard. And your graveyard is just your discard pile. Like most card games call it your discard pile, but in Magic it's called your graveyard, just because they're awesome. So like, I hope you guys can see how Magic is so much fun. Like you have these instants, and you have creatures and sorceries, and they all have abilities, and all these abilities kind of play off of each other. It's just really fun, and like you can do so many tricky combos. Like Squadron Hawk, when he enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 3 cards named Squadron Hawk, put them in your hand. So by the way, your library is your deck. I don't know why, but in Magic it's called your library. This guy is flying and haste. You've seen flying. Like with flying, only creatures with flying can block flying or reach. So a lot of times you can fly over your opponent unless they have a lot of flying creatures in their deck and deal damage right to them. And haste means that they can attack the turn they come out. You'll remember in a past video I mentioned that when a creature comes out for the first time, it has summoning sickness, which means it has to wait 1 turn before it can tap or attack or do anything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a game versus the computer, because I know I'm probably going to win, and I can just explain what's going on. So, yes, this is going to be a long video, but I hope you guys, like, I don't know, understand the game a little bit better after that very brief tutorial. Like, there's so many more complicated levels of Magic. Like, there's this thing called the stack, which is where spells, like, go on after they're cast, and certain things resolve before others. But I don't really think I want to get into all that. I'm not going to keep that hand. I'll keep this hand. It's not amazing because I don't have any red, but, you know, we'll see how it turns out. Like, see in the bottom left corner, like, that's what phase it is. Like, see how it says main? Yeah, and now in the top right corner will be his, like, main phase. And then he would have a combat phase coming up after this, but since it's the first turn, he obviously hasn't played anything yet. Well, hi, Victory's Herald. That's such a good card, if I can manage to get up to 6 land. For now, though, I'm going to play Ajani's Pridemate. You'll remember this guy. Whenever you gain life, you may put a +1/+1 counter on him. So I just cast him and see how he has like summoning sickness. See how he's all swirly. He's all like, ooh, I'm dizzy, ooh. So he can't attack this turn he came out. If he had haste, he would be able to. And also, that's kind of something else that I wanted to mention. When you attack, you're not attacking like the creatures he puts out. You're attacking the player directly, and then he can either choose to block or not to block with the creatures he has out. Well, that's really good. If he has no creatures out, then he obviously can't block with anything, but if he has a creature out, he can block. So, I'm going to lay my planes here, and I'm going to just attack with my 2/2. Because he's not going to block with his creature, because his creature's really good. You can tap it and put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature he controls. So actually, instead of letting that live any longer, I'm actually just going to kill it right now using this card. Exile target creature. Its controller may search his or her library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. So he does get a land out of it, but it's totally worth it because that creature wins games. And another thing that I kind of want to explain is exiling. That's different than like killing, because when you kill something, it goes in your graveyard. Like, see how I just cast that, and now it's in my graveyard. This little pile right here next to my deck. Um, when you exile something, it's completely removed from the game, so there's no chance of bringing it back. Okay, now see how he just played this creature. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, I gain 1 life. Oh, there's another one. So this guy's gonna be a 4/4 this turn, swinging in. This creature he played is really good though. He has protection from all colors as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Remember the artifacts I was talking about? They're also artifact creatures, and this deck that I'm playing against is an all artifact deck. So having protection from all colors means that like he can't be dealt damage by any source, but he can deal damage to any source of any color. So like say I were to attack with my 4/4, he could just block with his 2/2 protection from all colors, and nothing would happen. Right now, I think the play is to raise the alarm, because I'll gain 2 life, because 2 creatures will be coming into the battlefield, and then I'm going to attack with my 6/6 and see if he blocks. Either one of those creatures would be good to die, because for that, artifact spells cost 1 less to cast, and he obviously has all artifact spells, so that would be a very good card to remove. But I don't think he's going to block here. I think he's just going to take 6 and go down to 12. So like I mentioned, you start at 20 life, and then a bunch of crap happens in between that gets you down to 0. So this is Magic the Gathering. You see that your land untaps at the beginning of your turn. Okay, that guy's a 6/6. And he also gives his other guy protection from all colors. See how those little color icons just popped up on him? That means that he has protection from black, green, red, blue, and white. So he'll either attack with him for 2, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay. Or I was going to say he could hold back and just block, but which probably would have been a better play for him, but it's all good. Okay, drew a land. I think I might do this. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and then I can gain 1 life. So every turn, my 7/7 is going to get stronger. And now he can't block. So I'm going to attack for... I'll bring in both of these guys too. He's probably going to block one of my 1/1s with his 1/2. Okay, he just jumped that guy. That's not too bad for me, because that guy's really good. So he takes 2, goes down to 10. I end my turn. Okay, that's like a land. I don't really want to get into explaining that. Basically, he can just sacrifice that and play anything he wants. Or any land he wants, I should say, because that would be super unfair if he could play anything. But yeah. Okay, I drew Skynight Legionnaire, but I don't have a red, so I can't cast it. See how it costs 1 white, 1 red, and 1 colorless? I only have whites out right now. So, I'm going to just lay Squadron Hawk, which will gain me 1 more life. And then I can search my deck for the other Squadron Hawks, if you'll remember that. So that makes my guy a 9/9. And then once I find the other ones, he's going to be a 10/10 this turn. And he's almost going to have to block. Well, no, just kidding. He is going to have to block with his really good creature. So, this is looking pretty good for me. Although I'm not going to guarantee a win. I'm going to just attack with everyone because he has to block my 10/10, so he's going to take 3 damage or lose the game. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Destroy target non-artifact creature, so he just killed my 10/10. Now he's just going to block my Soul Warden, which is this guy. Nope, not that guy. Yeah, that guy, the one he just blocked. And that's pretty bad for me. That was a good play on his part. Yes, even the computer can make good plays sometimes. I am playing on the hardest difficulty, in case you guys care. You don't. Yep, nothing. Okay. Let's see what I draw. How about a red? Ooh, that's not too bad. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and swing in with just my 2 flying guys right now. Because he can't block them because his guy doesn't have flying. Mine do. Okay, so I think the play here is just to play 2 more Squadron Hawks. Just so I have 4 damage in the air, you know? So next turn, I can swing it for at least 4. Hopefully, I'll draw the red and be able to swing in with Skylight Legionnaire as well. Because that might make me win the game. Yeah. Okay. He has nothing for me. He's not going to attack. Oh no. Okay, good. That's just a 6/4. That's a really bad card. It costs 7 mana, and it's just a 6/4. Like, when you have 4 butt... Okay, I just said butt. You can call it, like, front and butt, or, you know, just dumb stuff like that. That's not good enough. Alright, it looks like I'm going to exile that guy. Swing in for... Okay, I'm going to hit him for 5 this turn. Bring him to 1. I know, like, there's an unwritten rule you're not supposed to bring people to 1, but, you know, I don't really give a shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. So he'll be at 1. End my turn. And then during his turn, hopefully he'll attack with his 2/2, and I'll be able to trick him and kill him with this. Just like I mentioned in my little tutorial. What do you know? Okay, he didn't swing in, but I'm still going to play this and get my 2 guys out, just so I guarantee my win next turn. I mean, it was kind of guaranteed to begin with, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to play anyway. Hey, Leonin Sun Standard, remember this guy? So I'm going to play that just for fun. And prosper. Pump them up just for fun, even though I didn't have to. And what do you know? It looks like I'm going to win. Whack! Nope, too soon. Whack! There you go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. Hopefully it clarified a little bit of the game Magic the Gathering for you. Yeah, I'm gonna keep getting out Magic videos, so hopefully you guys will start to get a hang of it. I'm still gonna get out Call of Duty videos as well. Don't worry. But yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.